Tour Stories / The Check-In is made possible by our friends over at Isotope. You know Isotope, and you know they are the best in audio repair, mixing, mastering, and general audio magic, like removing the heater sound that's going on right now. Thank you, Spectral Denoise. Head over to isotope.com for frequent deals on plugins for audio restoration, mixing, mastering, and more. That's izotope.com. Tour Stories is supported by the great DistroKid. As you know, DistroKid connects direct to TikTok with exclusive access to your TikTok artist account. What's new at DistroKid? You can do unlimited instant mastering. You can distribute your music videos. And the newest, greatest thing, Bandzoogle, where you can build a website and a store in minutes. And of course, they have an app, which is a delight to post new songs and get paid. Tour Story listeners get 30% off at distrokid.com/VIP/Tour Stories. DistroKid. Get your music out there. Hey there, guess what? We'd like to thank our newest sponsor, Kingston Union, home of the Wino, the original Wino skate, punk rock, casual shoe that looks cool as cool can get. Right now, Kingston Union is having a summer slip-on sale. All you have to do is go to KingstonUnionMFG.com and use code SUMMERSLIPS25. That's SUMMERSLIPS25. Head over to KingstonUnionMFG.com and get your slips for the summer now. Hi, Mallory.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great.
What's happening? Where are you?
I'm in my home in Philadelphia, West Philadelphia. Been here for a little less than a year, so I'm starting to finally not feel like a new Philly resident.
I love it there.
It's the best.
Why did you move there?
Well, I spent about 8 years in New York City, and I became completely exhausted, as one does.
Yeah.
And then I moved back to North Carolina, where I was from.
Oh, okay. You grew up in North Carolina?
Yes. Yeah, I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is a lot of what the record is about. But I moved home to save some money so that I could record my album. But I was recording my album in Philly at the Headroom. And so
gotcha.
I was traveling back and forth a lot between North Carolina and Philly. And I was kind of devastated every time I had to leave Philly. And I was quite excited every time I was on my way to Philly. So after 5 or 6 trips, I think my soul had just convinced me that this is where I needed to be.
Yeah. 2 good signs.
Yeah. So now I'm here.
So you grew up in Fayetteville, and it sounds like you've moved around considerably. What's been your connection with music growing up to where you are now?
It's huge. I mean, there was never really a time in my life that wasn't centered around music. My parents have been going to shows since they were teenagers and collecting records, and they were in Georgia, and they got to see kind of some of those early Athens bands, and they used to see like RuPaul in the club and stuff. Quite crazy.
Wow,
but yeah,
that is crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, they raised me on some amazing music, some amazing rock music, some very eccentric music, new wave. And then, we lived through the radio rock era of alternative 90s stuff, which is really the first thing that I latched onto as a kid and continues to inform me to this day.
And when did you start playing?
It's a funny journey. I played violin when I was in the 5th grade. But when I got to high school, I was like, that's not a cool instrument. I can't play violin anymore.
clarinet was not cool for me either.
Right. Yeah. And of course, as an adult, I'm like, I should have kept playing violin.
I
It's
know.
so cool.
I know.
But yeah, so then I started to play drums, and that was partly because I wanted to hide, and also because I loved drums. And then there was a bunch of guitars laying around the house. My dad is a guitarist, and my brother is as well. And eventually that bug just kind of bit me, and it has not really let go. And I just deeply, deeply love guitar. And yeah, I went to shows nonstop when I was a kid. I mean, when I went to my first club show when I was like 12, like my mom brought me to like the emo show, and they also took me to all kinds of great alternative shows growing up, and we would see like the Human League and Boy George or Third Eye Blind.
Right.
So I was, quite blessed with a family who loved music, and there was no chance that I turned out any other way.
Right. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
And you took advantage of all that.
Yeah.
And here we are at your debut record,
Yeah.
Chinook.
Yeah.
It's a really beautifully like elaborate collection of music. It touches on a lot of things that are dear to my heart. Mostly, I say this all the time, but all the sort of angular post-punk stuff. But there's beautiful kind of Americana and just some straight rock. But it's really tied together through some sort of ambience that I can't even figure out what it is. There is actual like ambience on the recordings, but there's something that makes it all work. Again, it's a journey going through the whole record, and it's particularly, I think, that the first song, The Mirror, kind of tells the story of the record. I don't know if that's why you put it first or not, but after listening to it a bunch of times, I was like, oh, this is kind of the mirror of the record.
Wow, that's great.
But how did you approach putting these all together? It seems like kind of a big task to me.
Yeah, it was a big task, and it's been really fascinating to see how other people are engaging with the record because of how scared I was about it being all over the place. It's not, but I've become very relaxed because I think people have found that through line that rides through that ambience that you're talking about. And I would like to think that ambience is just me somehow, and my voice, both literally and as a songwriter. But yeah, I write a lot of angry punk songs, and I write a lot of really tender songs. And I come from the South, so there is like a touch of Americana and just kind of that more like swampy rock to it. I mean, I don't think I'm really making like folk music per se, but
no,
there is.
I wanted to say that in my brain when I first started listening to the record, and I'm like, I same with me. I was like, no, this isn't. I couldn't put folk on this.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I just love rock music, and that I think that this is just. And rock music is such a broad term, but like I love guitar music, and that's just what happened here.
And we got 3 singles out now. One of the singles is Revolver. What strikes me about that tune is I don't know if I've ever heard this sentiment before of what I gather is being surprised and maybe happy that someone hasn't left you or something hasn't left you. Did your lyricism change at all since your first single? Did anything happen that you had a new view on the world?
Yeah. I mean, I think I just have gotten a little more confident, obviously, and I can maybe say things, I don't know. I feel like I'm just speaking with my chest now. And in my early demos, like most people, it just was quite meek, and I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to say. And I think now I'm not really afraid to be angry or be sexy or resentful or sad and lonely. I think there just came a point where I realized that it was like the music that I've connected with growing up, it's like, and even the literature, just like everything, when someone is like really brutally honest and transparent with you, it's just, that's what hits your soul. And that's what I try to do. But I'm not super literal. I want people to have like a little fun with it. I like to have a little fun with it. I'm not like me. Yeah.
I did read about the story of the name of the record. Could you tell us a little bit about that? I love that story.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what to name the record, but having lived at home, I left my hometown when I was 18, and never really returned for a long period of time. So moving back home really did end up informing the record, and being in like my teenage bedroom really informed the record, and speaking to my parents every day and going back to that rapport that we've always had, and also realizing that there is this like military dialogue and jargon that is thrown around in our house so commonly, and has been since I was a kid. My whole dad's side of the family was in the Army. My brother was in the Army. Sometimes we're speaking in these abbreviations that don't make a lot of sense. And, but yeah, we would point out helicopters and various cannons and things. My dad really loved to teach me he knew everything about all the artillery and the tanks and guns, and he would teach me about that stuff. And I hadn't really engaged with it much when I moved away. And then I came back, and all of a sudden it was very present again. And I was in the kitchen with my dad, and one of the Chinook helicopters flew over, and those were my favorite helicopters when I was a kid. And and he said something very poetic, which was that it's the only helicopter that can collide with itself because it has these double propellers. And it really was like an aha moment for me, where I was like, oh, that's it, because there is a lot of anger and self-preservation and also self-destruction on the record. It just felt very suddenly like this really perfect metaphor for how I was feeling. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to play a little bit of Revolver. Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
All right, here we go.
You saw me at my worst. Does it get any better than this? But the foundation first. No surprises later. Then we laughed till it hurt. And I wondered why you're still here. And I wondered why you come back to see me. I wondered why, and I wondered why you come back to see me. I wondered why, and I felt alive. Won't you come right back to see me? Wondered why, I wondered why. Won't you come right back? You saw me at my worst. Does it get any better than this? Had to change to learn to love. Had to learn to love change. And I wondered why, and I wondered why you come back to see me. I wondered why, and I wondered why you come back to see me. I wondered why, and I felt it all. Won't you come right back to
As I said, the recording is so lush, and it's just a amazing recording, and I want to talk a little bit about that. But one thing that's I love about Revolver is that meter change in the song, or tempo change. It's hard to tell if it's meter or tempo, but it's so amazing how that works. On paper, I'd be like, that would never work. And it's so, how'd that come about?
Yeah. It's funny you say that because so commonly I'm writing my songs on an acoustic guitar by myself, no metronome, no any kind of timing really in mind. And I don't have a ton of technical knowledge with, like, I'm bad with time signatures. Like, I'm quite bad with all of that stuff. It really takes me a lot of time to focus and be like, I think that this is in 3/4. I'm not sure. I'll get there eventually, but yeah, I mean, I have brought songs, I've brought these voice memos or these demos of songs, and just not really, it was just a feeling based decision.
Okay.
And then when put into paper or put into a DAW, that's when I realized, like, oh, this is not in 4/4, and I now need to figure out what I've done and go
But
from
do you?
there.
Maybe you don't. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it's quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a really crazy, fun change. And when I first heard the song a couple times, I didn't notice it. And then, the third time around, I was like, oh my God, that is really cool. It changes the vibe in such a interesting way.
Yeah, I wanted it to feel kind of like sinking and floating at the same time.
And there's so much playfulness on this record next to what I think is pretty elaborate songwriting. And you said you recorded it there in Philly. Tell me a little bit about how that all went down, who you were playing with, what you played. You sound like you're a multi-instrumentalist, so.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that I wanted my friend Sam to help me with the record. I think we both are just kind of scholars in rock music, and also in very different ways. And he kind of has some of that technical knowledge I was just talking about that I lack, like he's great with. So I knew that he was going to be just helpful. Yeah, I had always wanted to record at the Headroom. I love the people who run that studio. I think it is one of the most like professional and laid back studios around. It just was, sometimes if a studio is too fancy, I feel a little like out of place.
Sure.
And yeah, I knew it was kind of the perfect way I wanted to do it. But yeah, I brought a lot of like nearly complete Logic demos to Sam where things were already quite produced. And, I was quite insistent on playing like most of the instruments except for the drums on some of the songs. But as we all worked together as a team, and I got really comfortable with my engineers and, I was like writing new songs and I was kind of like, well, I'm not going to put this through the whole ringer of Logic. Like I'm going to just send it to Sam and be like, here's my idea. Here's what I want to do with it. Like, let's actually collaborate and help this bloom. Yeah. So it's a mixture of those things. It was most of the songs were finished, but songs like Revolver and 4 O'Clocks started in more of a basic way, and Sam and I were able to kind of build those together. But yeah, I really, most of the guitar on the record was me, and that was, both me being quite stubborn and also it being kind of the one thing I'm a little particular about. But yeah, after a while working with a team that you trust, you're kind of like, yeah, you can rip the take on this one. Actually, like, I don't mind, like, you're better at that kind of thing. But Rotten Man is the only song where kind of everyone played a different instrument. I had my friend Colin play bass. Like I wanted that one to feel like a loose rock band.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and the song Caretaker, which is one of these kind of post-punk textured tunes. I wasn't sure if it was your voice on the verses.
Wow.
I was, oh, that's a guest singer. And then just after about 500 times of listening to it, I was like, now I can hear. It was very strange, though. Obviously,
strange.
it is your voice.
It is very much my voice. Yeah. Well, what's crazy is you're not the first person to say that.
You're touching a different voice, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's just my angry side.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to listen because I mean, of course, it sounds like my voice to me. But I'm gonna have to re-listen with that in mind. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I truly was just gonna go look at the credit. I was just listening without looking at anything, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Someone else is singing. It's not.
No.
Well, congrats on this record. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Again, it comes out on the 31st of July, self-released, correct?
Yeah, doing it
Right
all
on.
myself. Yeah.
Love it. And any plans to tour or play shows?
I hope so. I really, really miss being on the road. I think having done this record by myself, I'm like really running out of time to, like I had grand plans to book myself a little tour, but it's, there's only so many hours in the day. So
Yeah, right.
I'm hoping to find someone to help me do that. But yeah, I'm really itching to get back on the road. That's where I really love to be. And I want to take these songs out as a full band and finally kind of give them the life that they deserve.
It'd be so great to see live. So I hope we'll see them someday.
Yeah, they need a band. They're calling for it.
All right. Well, it was great to meet you. And maybe I'll see you somewhere out there in the rock and roll world.
Yeah, I love playing out in Seattle, so we'll see.
All right.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Bow down to this efficient man. How lucky, and are we beg for your scraps? I soften and harden, then bow down to mediocrity. The phone screens, games, yes, a TV, yes, anything not to think. I soften and harden, then. Bow down to complicity. The phone screens, games, yes, a TV again, yes, not to think about me, you, me. I'm not your caretaker. On my time, what's twice on my time? I soften and harden, then. I'm out of my mind. I'm out of my mind. Bow down to conformity. I can control my wants and needs. I wanna catch a break of free disease. I wanna be set free. Be set free. Be set
I am super psyched to welcome our newest sponsor, Kuma Coffee. Kuma Coffee is a 100% independently owned roasting company right here in Seattle since 2008. Kuma is a 5-person team roasting over 100,000 pounds of exclusively high-scoring coffee each year. They source their coffees direct from origin and pay well over fair trade pricing to farmers. This guarantees the highest quality while supporting rural farming communities throughout the global south. And here's the kicker. They just launched an instant coffee. I travel a lot. I've tried tons of instant coffee, and Kuma is the best. It saves my buns in the morning, in the afternoon, and quite often before a show. Find their coffees at kumacoffee.com. That's KUMACOFFEE.com.